Hello everyone, and welcome back to more for Silent Hill F. It is the Black Shadow here. It's been a couple of weeks or so since I completed my original run of this game. For the record, the original run of this is being uploaded to YouTube currently, but is not yet complete. I think we just uploaded, video 17, I think it was, out of the 24, where all the ritual stuff happens. Yeah, that was an experience. But I did say at the end of the run that we did that I would come back to this game and that we weren't quite finished with it. And that is indeed true. At the end, we were led to believe that basically Hinako had lost her mind, or it had all been a grand hallucination or something like that. All in all, a somewhat, and I would argue probably deliberately unsatisfactory end to the game that clearly wants you to play it more than once to actually work out what the hell's gone on here. And indeed, as noted, there are a lot of things that we still don't know about this game and the story behind it. We don't know why Foxmask did all the things we did. We don't know why Junko apparently sided with the Inari. We don't know why all of this infestation stuff's happening. We don't know why bad Hinako, if you want to call it that, was seemingly thwarted at times by things to do with the old original religion. We don't know about the tree, and there was stuff about a sword. There's a variety of things we still don't entirely know. Rinko as well, like why she went kind of like sort of super psycho. Was she being controlled? Did she have ulterior motives? There's a lot of things we don't know. And that is what we're going to begin our journey into exploring with this run. So, as noted, there are multiple endings of the game. We saw Coming Home to Roost, but there are other endings as well. There are 4 specifically. The game is nice enough to tell you how to get these. There's one here for no red capsules, purifying a sacred sword, or didn't obtain it, and obtain the Agura no Hote-sama, whatever that is. All of them require not taking red capsules, by the way, pretty much. One for an unpurified sword. This is the actual true ending of the game, which requires you to have seen one of these 2, and then some other stuff. And then there is a UF ending as well. It is my intention to show this ending off, which means I am going to have to play this game 2 more times, which can definitely be done. But that brings us to these recordings. So, there is stuff that changes in this game. I am aware of that. What exactly, I don't know. But what I don't want to do is be in a situation where I'm just playing through this entire game again, and you guys are just like seeing things you've already seen. So this is going to be a bit abridged. I will play and record all this on my side, but it's likely that a lot of the inter stuff, you know, with like traveling and whatever else, is largely going to be cut out. And I will show off stuff that has changed, that is new. If any puzzles change, I will show that as well, as we delve into the real history of what's going on here in town. But that is going to be the plan. So, New Game Plus. We keep all of our previous abilities, mostly speaking. We do now also have access to Lost in the Fog difficulty for your action. You can do it for New Game Plus. I'll be honest, I'm not that interested in actually doing this, really, especially if I'm not actually going to be showing you most of the run. So, I'm going to keep this on Lost in the Fog, but I'm going to keep this at hard. I think that is totally fine.
Hey, did you know that when a girl grows up, she has to get married? It's her job.
It's not a job. Don't you want to get married, Hinako?
I don't know. Maybe not. It doesn't sound fun when Daddy talks about it.
Kinda like homework, huh?
If he tells me I have to, then I don't wanna.
Thanks for waiting. Junko. Did something happen?
Can tell there's subtle differences. Obviously that seems different, but also...
Just reminiscing a little. About, you know, when we were kids.
Notice there's something on the lapel.
You always looked out for me. Hinako. Here. This is for you. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Still gives the bell, but there's a certain badge there. So that's what a lot of this run is going to be about, is getting to grips with what's been going on behind the scenes of the game. I've alluded to some of it with some guesses. I don't know how accurate some of this will be, but I suspect we're probably about to find out. I think some of it probably was not far from the mark. Still love the way this game presents itself, I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad in a way it's been a couple of weeks since I've played this, so I can kind of look at it with a bit of a fresher set of eyes. And remind myself, this game is really great. I know that you see the scarecrows from early, before. I didn't even notice that. I imagine they were probably there with the clothes on. I just didn't even notice them. The school with the flower beds. All these locations we're going to be seeing now. Here's the mountain path. The shrine. That shoes house. Literally, the game is telling you the order of places you're about to visit.
It's settled. We will decide everything from here on out.
But dear, what about how Hinako feels?
We're never gonna get another chance like this. What could possibly make Hinako happier? Nothing. Where do you think you're going? We're not done here, young lady.
But still, who would have guessed that Hinako would...
She's going to do as she's told for once and help me pay off this debt. We won't have to worry about money ever again.
Darling, please, keep it down. Hinako will hear you.
So that was talking about looking to get what...
There's no way. Never.
What Hinako's plan was, or Hinako's father's plan was, to sell off Hinako basically to pay off the debts. And yeah, it's just lots of little changes here and there. Playing around with what you know and what you don't know. So here we are, Shimizu Hinako. Interesting to note that everyone seems to be back with their original art. We don't see all the overwrites from previously. We still do have access to all of the old stuff from the journal, however, which is worth noting, including formidable foes, monsters, all the puzzles we've seen as well. Well, the puzzles aren't actually here. I have a feeling the puzzles might actually well change. We've got a lot of previous information, so that's good. But yeah, and of course, the Inari Fox badge on on the lapel there. So yeah, I'm curious to see what else is going to be changing around here as we go. As I say, I will. There will be cuts in and out as I inevitably do a lot of like off-screen exploring on my own. It's going to make editing these videos entertaining, to put it mildly, and probably quite challenging too. But what are we gonna do? And here's the journal entry for the Shiramuku. An intimidating monster that appears in Shiramuku, a traditional white wedding kimono. It uses their grand fox arm to compel others to obey. It looks down on me and denies my existence. But at the same time, it pities me, like it thinks it's better than me or something. Don't look down on me. You're no better. So it is worth noting that equipment-wise, we do still have access to all our old Omomoris that we have. I believe our skills, faith, and all the upgrades we had via the emas have also been kept since the last run. However, we have no weapons and no items. So there is some work to be done. It's worth noting as well as I'm walking around here, I am finding absolutely nothing to pick up, which is not quite what I was expecting, but alas.
I'll pray.
Praying would probably be a good idea. So, yeah. So we still retain our 700 faith. We still have access to all of our previous ability upgrades, as you can see here. We can now increase our memory slots more in New Game Plus. We are maxed out at 3 for that, but we can go up to 5 now if I can get hold of the requisite faith. But as noted in Shrining, got nothing to do that with, so we'll have to work on that.
What should I do?
Pray a lot. Not that button. Not that button. That button. You remember this house that we could never enter? Hello? A research journal photo? Though it appears to be a research journal, it appears to be a clue collected by a researcher investigating the folklore of Ebisugaoka. Where is that? So, the legend of the sacred sword. So we read something about this when we ran into the great tree of the previous, sort of the old religion that was around here, and talked about a sacred sword that was apparently buried at the foot of the tree. They said that the sword's animosity continued to grow, even it remained buried under the earth. So the people erected a sacred barrier around it using Jizo statues as anchors. If one wished to find the sword, they should start by looking for these Jizo statues first. It appears that the barrier works by creating a spiritual harmony that inhibits the sword's animosity. The hell? During this period, it was thought that everything was composed from 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Therefore, 5 was the number associated with harmony. In other words, there should be 5 statues. Are 5 the statues located in this town? I expect tracking them down will prove a tremendous task.
Maybe the old Jizo-sama in town? I'll take a look.
And this is one of the puzzle entries that we never saw in the first run. The Sacred Sword. It looks like there are 5 statues in town, and we are going to have to locate them. And that could prove tricky. I'm not entirely sure where that is. It's by a post box. I see as a bike there. I think that's probably around this area, but I'm not entirely sure. But now we know what we're doing. Yeah. If we want to find this, I think this might be... Yeah, and this is the old information here. Yeah, Hidden Village served as refuge holders of the Tyra clan. Yeah. Swearing the oath, they buried the sword of their deceased leader at the base of the great tree that served to protect this land. And that is what we are going to be looking for. But yeah, this is how a lot of this is going to change around here now. There's another key there. That needs also unlocking too. We have work to do, that's for sure. Just go ahead and equip these on here. Oh, it is already done. Oh, I just don't have access to any of that right now. Loads of these are locked. That don't open. That's nice. Except, what the hell's that doing here? This area is most curious. A boy's diary? So I'm just reading this here. Become a millionaire by finding treasure all around the world. And not just hunting treasure. A real treasure hunter sometimes takes down big, scary beasts and bad guys. Now they have to learn how to escape dangerous traps too. Uh-oh. I was play fighting with the girl who lives next door when Mom got mad at me. She said, what if you leave a scar on her face? Then nobody will marry her. What's that all about? I think that girl would be a really good treasure hunter, though. She always finds the hidden treasure when we play treasure hide and seek. I want to become a treasure hunter with her someday. Hold on a second then. So... Ooh, more inventory capacity. Nice. So... This house doesn't make sense then. I think this is meant to represent, like, a young Hinako. You know, with reference to, like, the Sakuko stuff and the stuff down there. Who the hell lived here? Strange. Well, we've got our key, so I suppose that means we should probably look to go and, going on here? You're real good at this. Not any boats can find this one. Too bad this isn't the treasure, but points for trying. Got some chocolate, though. That's nice. This place is really weird. You got stabbed by my doo-doo spear and died. Damn. I feel like I'm being heavily fucked with. And I don't know how comfortable I am with this fact. The Faded Bride Doll. Yes? Kaboom! You got blown to wreath by my doo-doo bomb and died. Fair enough. So that means we have one of the... Sorry, everyone, I don't remember how my inventory... Is this one of the statues, maybe? And here is the brooch. A very old and precious brooch seems to have a reassuring power. Can't say I'm happy to see that.
Uinari-sama. The fox gods enshrined all over the place.
Do you remember when we first saw this at the very beginning of the game? I was like, huh, this is kind of cute. How that changed. How that changed. Okay, so... we need to work out where that is. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like it's probably pretty close to here. Pretty flat terrain. It might be on the at the bottom of the foot of the mountain, I suspect. If I had to guess. So I think we should probably go down and have a little browse for that. But yeah, definitely doesn't appear to be much of anything anymore. What the heck is this? Well, the most famous translated Western medical book remains the New Text on Anatomy. There was a peculiar work by the name of Exotic Herbology, published in the 5th year of the NA era in 1776. Strange as the text was, it has largely been forgotten by history. A foreign missionary brought this text to Japan, along with a curious medicine that would supposedly allow one to speak with divine spirits, the Kakura Makakura. I can't remember if we've read this before. In order to have contact with the gods, one must first liberate one's soul. Upon doing so, the individual will fall into a temporary state of unconsciousness, potentially leaving them vulnerable to malevolent spirits. There is an awful lot of foreboding with a lot of the stuff we're currently reading. And you know what? It's the second run of a Silent Hill game. Probably have reason to. A woman doesn't beat when she's loved, featuring the latest fashion for young men so pure they make even flowers blush. Jeez. Postbox. Bike. I think this is what we were looking for. I see. I found a damaged Jizo statue in the mountains. The character foot Tsuchi, or earth, can be faintly seen etched into the stone base. What will happen if I offer something that relates to that character? Well, on that topic of offerings, I remember that I offered my old doll once. My ears were met with the soothing chime of bells upon offering the item. This should do. Okay, so there are 5 areas where we're going to find these Jizu statues, and we need to offer them a doll that correlates to them, apparently. And that is how we are going to be able to work out what we're going to do around here. Okay. Okay. That sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. We know our job. Achieving, however, is going to be probably a lot harder. The other issue as well is we need to find the photos, which gives us the clue of where to find the Jizo statues, and then we need to find the dolls that relate to them. Treasure hunt is right. So as the weirdness begins to come again, we do gives us the opportunity to kind of think about what's to come here. The whole thought, by the way, of having to play through this whole game and not take a single red capsule does not fill me with great happiness and joy. Those things were freaking useful, man. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. The one thing I can rely on, though, is my improved ability and expertness over this game, he said, chuckling nervously to himself. This does also give us the opportunity to pick up anything that we may have missed or forgotten to do in our initial run of the game. To be fair, I feel like we did a pretty decent job of covering, I think, most ground at the in our first run at the end. There was a couple of things here and there that I forgot, especially there was something very early in this game that we never did, which I am interested in trying to do again, but we'll see how things go.
It's Shu.
This could be unsettling.
Hey, partner.
Shu. Say something.
What about you? Nothing you want to say?
Well, if you don't have anything, neither do I.
Well, that's my Hinako. It's not like you to just let stuff happen, though. But whatever you end up choosing, you know I'll always be there for you.
Shu.
Shu, thanks for waiting. And Hinako, too.
Rinko.
This is something also we don't know too much, is what were the actual fates of Shu, Rinko, and Sakuko?
Nothing, really.
It seems pretty likely that Sakuko died,
She said that she just wanted to talk to
but we don't know much about the other two. It was kind of left very unanswered.
Too.
Oh. Glad to be of service, ma'am. If I had known you'd be here, I would have brought that magazine you lent me.
Oh, you can hold on to it. I knew I wasn't getting it back when I lent it to you.
What's that supposed to mean?
There's definitely a certain sense
What do you
of
think you're laughing at?
sadness
You've got
seeing
something
this,
of hers
obviously
too,
knowing
don't you?
what's about to
Right?
happen.
Wait, did I borrow something? Hey, Hinako, do I get to hold on to the 500 yen I owe you too?
What happened to paying her back with interest?
I never said that. You can't prove I did.
Okay.
And to
that
be
does
fair,
it. If I lend you
knowing
something,
what we
just
do
sign the
now
contract
about
to give it back.
Sakuko and her
Easy to
family's
me.
history, it makes what happens here probably the more brutal. And we now know what this is.
Hinako?
Sorry. What?
You trick.
No wonder it went for her first.
That hurt. Good thing I got this from Shu.
So, indeed, we did get this from Shu. The painkillers that Shu and apparently has derived from a family recipe, I think it was, from his family. Family recipe from his family. I knew what I was meant to say. Anyways, as we learnt, though, at the end of the first ending, that basically Hinako become dependent on them. And it fucked with her. So our job in this run is to not use any. Which sucks, because these are damn useful.
It's just like my partner said.
But this is why the game has given us these Arares early. We will have to not use a single one of these red capsules. We can collect them, but we cannot use them. So we are going to unequip them, and we will have to beat the entire game without using these once. I think they take up an inventory space as well. We might even just chuck them in the bin later on. But it's a really useful just health and sanity boost as you go. It's going to hurt not having access to those. That's for damn sure. But it's what we must do to keep ourselves clear of mind. And so we can finally work out what the hell's been going on around here.
What is this place? I need to get back to Sakuko.
So the game has already given us an iron pipe before we actually get it in the cutscene, which is slightly worrying. Makes me a little nervous that the game is and almost certainly will change how enemies are going to work out, and they're probably going to jump out in places that they didn't previously, and we're going to need to be ready for that. Do I remember how to do melee combat in this game? Next question. Next question.
Who's there? Is that you, Shu?
Now, when we first came through here, what we ended up doing was that we ended up going down this route, and there was a whole section over here that I never actually got round to exploring. So I am interested in going down there and seeing what I may have missed. It might not have been very much, but it's something I want to do. But definitely know that the game gives us a pipe to fight straight away instead of this early area where we just have to avoid and there's no alternatives. Which is definitely of note. Out of the record as well, Omori-wise, I've currently got these on. So I've got the Pine for max health, the Spider for less durability. I'm expecting to get into more fights. And I've got Wolf on as well, so we do more damage with high durability. And we'll change this out as we go. I might take off the Pine as well. But we'll see how things play out.
Rinko?
I am most certainly expecting trouble. Trouble. Yeah. Nice try, arsehat. I am most definitely suspicious that we could find enemies in places that we didn't previously. and that we will have to be on our toes. Truthfully, it's probably what the game would want anyways, right? It's probably what it would want anyways. Yeah, I remember this little section down here. That was all hidden away. We kind of stumbled upon this early. And I was like, yeah, that was really damn useful. Yokans, good. So, the one downside we do have is because we don't have the capsules that we can use, items like Yokans and Divine Waters and such, we're gonna have to rely on them more for actual healing purposes, which means we're not gonna be able to offer them for sacrifices as much and get hold of as much faith so we can upgrade ourselves. So it's gonna be definitely tighter resource wise. That's gonna be for sure. So this is the bridge we were going to originally use to get out by Rinko's place. The game telling you that, yeah, it's out. I don't remember it telling us that directly. It wouldn't surprise me that those radios say different things. That makes sense. So yeah, over here was somewhere that we never went. See if there's enemy of interest. I heard that sound. No. Doctor's note. There are cases where patients see an improvement in their symptoms by not taking medicine, but rather by simply talking to a doctor. The cause of this phenomenon lies undeniably in the trust fostered between practitioner and patient. The pharmacists who have been trusted since ancient times perhaps could be said to contain a similar power to that of the local gods here. In all the younger generations of this town, there are many who believe praying to Oinari-san will soothe pain and speed up the healing process. One's fortitude of faith is thought to have direct relations to potency. There are even some town elders who claim to have broken bones miraculously mended after praying. I don't know if this was here originally, but very clearly a suggestion that there are other routes to take than relying on such foreign medicines and whatnot. Ah, shit. Eat it! Yeah. Ain't fucking about. Don't want to go to war with everyone and everything that I see, but in these tight areas... And again, the fact that we have so little health available to us at all right now, because it's the beginning of the game and we don't get our 10 capsules, means that we do have to rely a lot more on our weaponry for now to kind of brute force us through some situations. This game was just vomiting capsules me. It's like, it's just teasing. It's like, you know you want to use these. Come on. Come on. Don't you want to get better? Don't you want to feel good in the morning? I'm like, the hell I do. Okay, we're out of there. Good. So I did go down the back door where there was a previous Omori. There was a dried carcass there. So it might be that old slots, places where we found Omoris, we'll be able to find, we can find prizes. That's definitely possible. It's also quite possible there could be new Omoris that are findable in New Game Plus. So it'd definitely be worth us keeping an eye out. So we are still encouraged to probably go exploring dotted around. But yeah, definitely more stuff. There's a second enemy in there that was hiding where the Omori used to be and stuff like that. Also, I feel like as well, the enemies seem to be a bit more aggressive. Like, they tend to be attacking with, like, when they go to attack, they're swinging, like, more than once. So, definitely some dangerous stuff about. That's for sure. I don't want your red capsules. Go away. That's not good. But yeah, we do need to try and, like, still not fight where possible. Bye! Shit, is there anything actually there, though? Basket. Okay, you die for that. Pay for those crimes. Right. A little more respawn. Okay then, so we can still enshrine, like, these things. Which is still good. And that gives us the 1200, which is awesome. That is, definitely enough to do some praying. That's only going to increase our health. What I might actually do is hold fire on this and look to, like, because obviously, as I've noted before, when you use these improvements, it also restores you to full. So I might be encouraged to just wait because of our limited inventory till I've taken some damage, then use this to get the free heal as well. So that's what I'll probably need to do.
What a weird box. It opened.
That did not used to be there. You notice the stuff went? The badge. According to the Nihon Shoki, one of Japan's most ancient history books, Yamato no Orochi, a colossal 8-headed dragon, demanded the sacrifice of beautiful young girls for it to devour. Upon hearing this, the wild deity Suzano no Mikoto brought 8 barrels of sake to the dragon and lured it into drinking them. Once Yamato no Orochi had become intoxicated, he slew the dragon by chopping off all 8 heads. According to Ebisukuoka's oldest historical records, after being decapitated, one of Yamato no Orochi's heads flew far west and fell between the mountains of Higa no Kuni. The head eventually came back to life as a poisonous water dragon that plagued the land for many years to come. Higa no Kuni is known now as Ebisukuoka. There are reports of toxic gas leaks from the underground water streams in the past. Yes, we read about this. In the first run, if you go up towards the mountain path, there's notes about, like, geysers spewing. It is highly possible that this is where the legend of a poisonous water dragon stemmed from. However, while the local records state that Orochi's head flew there, there is no mention of this in Nihon Shoki. It's not hard to surmise that some shameless individuals put a religious spin on the noxious leaks to turn a profit, and falsify connections using famous literature to solidify their claim. I mean, slightly that's on them for believing that. Orochi, a 8-headed dragon, got slew, had its 8 heads dropped off, but one of its heads flew far west and fell between the mountains and landed here. That sounds bad. But quietly, she's almost kind of a key to the events that are transpiring. How much of that she knew of? Well, who could say?
dreamed of a different life. A family that owned a candy store. Instead of some stuffy old shrine. And here, it's all yours. As much candy as you could ever want. Sweet dreams. Sakuko. Go home. The store's closed for the day. Sakuko. Even if you're gone, I'll keep my promise. No matter what.
Let's go kick some ass. Now, the game very kindly also decided to drop me a knife and a fucking ball bat. Which was awful nice of it. Fuck you. Bastards. Shit. Fuck you. Wait, what?
So that our clan may prosper.
And that brings us to the Dark Shrine. So, as much as I obviously expect events to play out a little differently in town,
Am I?
and that we will kind of see things a little differently, like Shu running to Hinako there, stuff like that, I think where things are going to probably be really different is the shrine. The interactions with Thot's mask, and actually trying to work out what the hell's going on around here. But then I have to wait for the next video. That's going to be played enough for this one. So I'll thank you for watching. And next time, the puzzles begin. Lucky me.